everybody. I just thought I'd do a couple of videos to go over the addition, subtraction, multiplication and division methods that we'd covered so far, which might be useful when we are looking at our revision activities for our home learning at home. So we're going to start with column addition today. I'm going to show you the pictorial method so we understand how everything fits together, and then I'll show you it as a column method, and then we'll do a little bit of exchanging as well for some slightly trickier ones. So we're going to start off with 345 add 214. So to look at this pictorially, we would draw out our hundreds, tens and ones grid like this, and we would start off by drawing our first number using a pictorial method. So you could use base 10, you could use counters, whatever was worked for you. I'm going to use base 10 today. So in this number here, we've got 3 hundreds in the hundreds column. So I'm going to draw 3 hundreds in the hundreds column. I'm going to use base 10, so these are the base 10 squares to represent the hundreds. This number here has 4 tens, so I'm going to do 4 tens in the tens column. Again, I'm using the base 10 sticks to represent the tens, and it's got 5 ones, so I'm going to use dots to represent the little base 10 cubes for the ones in the ones column. We do exactly the same with the second number, leave a little gap so you can separate the two. We've got 2 hundreds this time, so 2 squares, we've got 1 10, and we've got 4 ones. Okay, and then we draw a line underneath. And because it's an addition, we'll add up what is in each column. Always starting with the ones column on the right hand side. So in total, we've got 5 ones and 4 ones, which would make 9 ones. We've got 5 tens all together with the 4 and the 1. And we've got 5 hundreds all together with the 3 and the 2. Okay, so to write this out as a written column addition, we would start again same way with the hundreds, tens and ones at the top. We would write out our first number, so 3 hundreds, 4 tens, 5 ones, and then our second number underneath, 2 hundreds, 1 10, 4 ones. It doesn't matter which way around you write these numbers for an addition, but it's a good habit to get into to put the biggest number first for other calculations. And as before, we will add the ones column up first, always starting with the ones column. So we've got 5 ones and 4 ones, which again makes 9 ones, 4 tens and 1 10, which makes 5 tens, 3 hundreds and 200, which makes 5 hundreds. Lots of you will be able to do calculations like that in your head because there's actually no exchanging in it, which is absolutely fine. If that's something that you can do in your head, that isn't an issue. It's actually faster to do it that way. If, say, you were in a test situation, that would be more efficient to do that in your head probably than to write that down. However, if you need to do it like that to write it down, that's also absolutely fine. Let's look at another one then that requires a little bit of exchanging. So we'll do 449 add 355. So I'll show you the pictorial way again first so we can understand what we're doing, and then I'll write it out as a column addition. So we'll write our hundreds, tens and ones in a grid like so. And again, we will draw out the two numbers on top of each other. So we've got 4 hundreds in the first number. We've got 4 tens. And we've got 9 ones. And again, we've got 3 hundreds. We've got 5 tens. And we've got 5 ones. Okay, and then we will draw our equal lines at the bottom. Now, again, starting with the ones column on the right hand side, let's add up how many ones we've got all together. So we've got 9 there and we've got 5 there. Now that would make 14 all together. Okay, now 14 ones actually contains a 10. So this is where we would exchange and turn these 10 ones into a 10 instead of having a 10 in the ones column, okay? So we would take 10 of these, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and we would turn that into a 10, okay? So then all together in the ones column, we're now left with 1, 2, 3, 4 ones. Okay, so we are exchanging 10 of these ones and turning it into a 10 so that we've not got a 10 in our ones column. So let's turn to our tens column now. So we've got 4 up here, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 all together. So we've got 10 tens in the tens column. Now again, 10 tens we know makes 100, so we can exchange again and turn this into 100. So we would take 10 of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and we would turn those into 100. Now we're actually left with no tens in that column anymore because we've done that. That's absolutely fine. And then in the hundreds column, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus the extra one, which would make 8. Okay? So to do this as a written column addition method, we would do exactly the same again. Hundreds, tens and ones. We would write our numbers out. So we've got 4 hundreds, 4 tens, 9 ones, 3 hundreds, 5 tens, 5 ones. And we would draw our equals lines there. And we would add the columns up, starting with the ones column. So we've got 9 and 5, which we know makes 14. Now we can't just put the 14 in there like that. We know from doing this that we'll have to exchange 10 of those ones. And when we write it out like this, we put the 10 that we are exchanging down at the bottom there, waiting, almost like a little waiting room, waiting to be added into the tens column when we get there. Okay, so we've got just 4 ones at the minute because we've taken that 10 and we've put it in the tens column. We're ready for the tens to be added up. So in the tens column, we've got 4 and 5, which we know makes 9. We mustn't forget this at the bottom, so that makes 10 altogether. Again, we can't just put that in there. Okay, we know that's 10 tens, so we know that's the same as 100. So we're going to take that and we've got 100 and we're going to put it under there. Okay, ready for the hundreds column. Okay, and actually then we're left with no tens in the tens column at all. And then we've got 4 and 3, which makes 7, and the extra 100 at the bottom, which makes 8. Okay, and that is how we exchange when we are adding and doing column addition like that. Okay, it's always important to check under here to make sure you've remembered to add these into this calculation. That's often a mistake and often where we go wrong. Okay, and remember that if it's 10 more than 9, sorry, in the ones column, then we will probably have to exchange. If it's more than 9 tens in the tens column, then we'll have to exchange to 100, and then so on if we were doing bigger numbers as well. Hope that's useful and hope that makes sense. And look out for the next video, which will be column subtraction.